If you're in a hard financial spot and you don't know what to do, there are a lot of resources out there that you should know about.
Hey, I'm Alex.
And I'm Philip.
And we teach you what you need to know about being a grown-up.
Because adulting shouldn't suck. We're here in Orlando, Florida at FinCon with Patrice Washington. And we're going to have her tell you guys a little bit about herself and what she does.
Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
You guys are a ball of energy.
Oh, thanks.
So a little bit about myself. Well, I'm known as America's Money Maven, but really I'm a woman who's on a mission to help people redefine wealth for themselves. I don't necessarily subscribe to the original, or I shouldn't say the original, the surface level definition of wealth that we all have is really money and material possessions, getting an abundance of it and just chasing that. When I had one of my lowest points in my life, losing everything in the recession, I started to do a little soul searching.
Okay.
And I found that the original definition of wealth was the condition of well-being. And so as I was rebuilding in 2009, I really sought to not just look at budgets and credit reports, but to really try to be well in all these other parts of my life. So now when people say, well, how do I become better with money? I'm like, it's not just by looking at a budget or credit report. There are other parts of your life that impact your finances, even when you're not thinking about it. And so my job in this game here at FinCon is to expose people to the other parts of life and to share with them my mantra, which is chase purpose, not money. And that doesn't mean that you won't have any money, but it means we make decisions rooted in like faith and not trying to just do things for a paycheck, because that's very fear driven.
For sure.
So that's who I am. That's what I do.
Awesome. You know, and that actually brings us into our first question here, which is how important is it to you to address your mindset around money?
Oh my gosh, mindset is everything.
Everything.
Because people can tell you all day, oh, you need a budget. We've all heard the same information regurgitated over and over again for decades. But why do we still struggle with it? Because many of us haven't had a shift in our mindset. If you grew up in an environment where there was just a lot of limiting beliefs and doubt kind of like was planted, and it takes money to make money and all these verbal influences, those things really do matter. And so it doesn't matter what advice you hear, what you read, what you listen to on a podcast. If you don't believe it's possible for you, it literally will never happen. So the first thing we have to address is your mindset. And like people giving themselves permission to maybe see or be or do something that they've never seen done before, especially if you don't come from a family that, you know, speaks the language of money.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That foreign language, you know.
So going off that, with a lot of people that have those maybe limiting beliefs or need more opportunities, tell us more about the Opportunity Knocks program that you've been working on.
I'm so excited about it. Opportunity Knocks is a show that is essentially geared towards helping real people with real financial challenges. And as someone who's been in this financial space for a long time now, what I know to be true is much of the information assumes that people are already here, right? Like they already have basic financial knowledge, or that like that their accounts are positive. So it assumes that like you're already figuring it all out, so here's how we get better. From my experience, I know that even with a college degree at the time, and even after having had a successful business, there was a season where I was negative. I was in the red. I'm talking shaking out old purses and digging through couch cushions looking for money, right? So that I could get milk for my daughter. And when someone says, well, you just need to work harder and save 10%, it's like, save 10% of what? Like, I don't have enough to save. And that is a very real barrier for many people in this country who are too ashamed to talk about it and too afraid to ask for help. And Opportunity Knocks is a show that sheds a light on everyday working Americans who still have financial challenges. They still feel like it sucks to be an adult. I should have just stayed a kid, right? Like, because what is all of this? And so it's not just a show that shows me as an opportunity coach and two others going in and counseling or coaching people. What I love about the show is it connects people to resources from nonprofits and not-for-profit CDFIs, that's community development financial institutions, in their neighborhoods. So you can watch the show, you can learn about maybe financial products and services you didn't know were available to you, and then you can go, well, that's great for her on the television, but like, what about me? You go to opportunityknocks.net, you put in your address or zip code, and you can literally find resources in your community. And that's what makes it so exciting, because it's not just like, here's what to do. It's like, and how to.
Yeah. Yeah, and then so that's that's providing resources for people that might be struggling financially, right? And then that's also providing resources for people who might be like wanting to start a business or other type of stuff, right?
Absolutely. It's not just struggling financially. And that's also the thing, right? You don't have to be at the point of making a decision between, do I pay my light bill and do I get groceries, to still possibly get support.
Yeah.
Some people are living paycheck to paycheck and they have normalized it. So they're not at the point of, well, I need welfare, or I need to go apply for, food stamps or something. That doesn't mean you're not struggling. That doesn't mean that you're not up against some challenges. It doesn't mean that you don't need to do something that can create more breathing room. So I don't want you to feel like you have to be down and out and just, completely destitute.
Yeah.
You might just want to improve the interest rate on your car loan. Like, you might just, need some other support. And yes, even for small business owners, CDFIs help create grants for small business owners in local communities who are looking to really do something meaningful and impactful. There's so many resources, but when we don't know what we don't know,
Right.
we don't know,
Yeah.
and we don't get them.
Absolutely.
So one of the things I love so much about that is that a lot of things we talk about on this channel is actionable things that our viewers can take to make their lives better. So almost every single video has some kind of thing that they can take action on to hopefully implement in their lives and have a better life, whether it's through finances or finding safer places to live, knowing how to do that, or even just learning how to set goals, right? So this Opportunity Knocks as a resource is just phenomenal, because a lot of what we teach applies most places, but this is specifically to those individual areas so they can look for resources.
Yeah, I love it too, because when we think about something impacting our finances, most people default to your car note or credit card debt. But there are some people who are like, I need support with childcare, right? Because that's holding me back from being able to really pursue the things that I want to do. Or I need help with a small business plan. I know I have a vision. I have this, dream of something I want to do, but I don't know where to start. And all these templates online are confusing me. I need some hand holding, or something. So those things that impact your finances are so much bigger than just a car note and rent. That is definitely there, but what I love is that there's so many other resources that can support people, and again, it's in their local community.
Yeah. So I know the show hasn't aired yet, right? That's coming out next summer, right?
It comes out in October.
Oh, October.
It comes out fall 2022. So
Okay.
it'll be out in October on PBS Passport.
Okay.
And then it'll be on all PBS stations throughout the country by December.
Oh, very nice. Now the website to go for those resources, is that live already, or is that going to be coming live
It'll be
soon?
live in October as well. So
Okay.
that's opportunityknocks.net.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, for the next question, if we had to take you back in time to when you were 18 years old, or if you wanted to give just an 18-year-old advice in general, what would it be in regards to finances? Like, what's that important, nugget that you would give them to start their journey into adulthood?
Ooh, 18 was so long ago. No. To chase purpose, not money. I built a great business coming out of college. And I wish I could say that there was a lot of purpose behind it. I fell into the trap of being in college and people telling you that you choose a job or a career based on the money. And so even with the best of intentions, you end up making decisions rooted in fear, not faith. It's like, I have to do this thing because this is where the money is, versus really assessing what feels good for me, what feels in alignment, what feels right for me. And yes, I need money. I understand we all need money to live and to survive and thrive. But what is truly in alignment for me? And if someone would have told me that I could chase purpose and the money would come, not passion, because sometimes we're passionate about things we're not proficient in.
Yeah.
So not chase passion. A lot of folks been chasing passion, and you can't sing, right? You're passionate about it, but you can't do it. So not chase passion, but chase purpose, and literally make decisions that are does this feel in alignment for me? Is this fulfilling for me? Or am I literally just doing it because there's a check attached? If the only reason I'm doing it is because of a check, probably shouldn't be there, because I'm gonna end up unfulfilled and blowing the check anyway, trying to find fulfillment.
Yeah.
And I wish somebody would have told me, but I'm here now to tell people, so it's okay.
That's good.
This isn't on our list of things to ask you, but speaking of fulfillment,
Yeah.
what is the thing that makes you feel the most fulfilled in life?
Knowing that even with all my flaws and imperfections, I could still be a blessing to people. It's why I tell my story. It's why I get on stages. It's why I leave my child, who will soon be 18 in a few years. It's why I leave her at home to come and do this work, because when I see aha moments on people, like, light bulbs go off for people, like, oh, wow, that's a thing. Like, having people come up to me and say your podcast or your book or something you said on stage really resonated with me, I feel like I'm just, again, even with flaws, imperfections, it's not a perfect thing, but I'm obedient. And when I know that one person, like if I speak on a stage and there's 1,000 people, if one person comes up and says that was for me, that is fulfilling.
I love it. Yeah. So for people who want to know more about you, how can they find you?
Well, on Instagram, for the young people, no, because I'm not on TikTok, but on Instagram, you can find me at Seek Wisdom PCW, but all things Patrice Washington are at patricewashington.com.
Awesome. That's awesome. Well, we thank you for taking time out of your busy day and sitting here with us to do this interview. We greatly appreciate that. We love seeing you on stage yesterday. We love sitting in on your little meeting over here earlier. All great information. We love seeing your fans sit with you and just admire you. You got a great presence about you. And thanks again for taking your time out and sit with us today.
Thank you. This was great.
Yeah. If you guys like this video, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. In the comments below, let us know if you guys have any questions.